Chair. PMRC was requested to make comments on the amendments of the Mines and Mineral Development Act of 2015 now into a bill number 31 of 2022. So to just give a background, we say the mining sector is one of the critical drivers of economic growth as espoused in the 8th National Development Plan. In the plan, there are a lot of strategies that have been put in place to ensure that the mining sector thrives for job creation, for backward and forward linkages, as well as for forex earning. And some of these strategies that are key for this presentation are the explorations both of minerals and petroleum, reforms in the mineral tax regime and the mining sector as a whole, mineral beneficiation and value addition, as well as development of the artisanal and small sub-sector within the mining sector, which you've seen there's been a growth in that. So the 2023 budget, government proposed to restructure the mineral royalty tax to apply with the incremental value, like the way they do with the payee, to ensure that when the price exceeds a certain threshold as opposed to where it was being levied at a block figure. The Act had an article which says that the mineral royalty payable on industrial metals such as copper shall be paid at 6% of the gross value of the minerals produced or recoverable under the license. And the new amendments that have been proposed that are enshrined in the bill and to amend the Act of 2015 include that a 4% will be paid, a mineral royalty of 4% will be paid when the copper price at the international market is less than 4,000. And for any price that is between 4,000 to 5,000, a mineral royalty of 6.5 will be paid. Any price that is between 5,001 and 7,000 will be paid at 8%. And any price that is above 7,000 per ton will be paid at 10%. So this is as enshrined in the budget. So the proposed amendments to the Act are in line with the 2022 Mineral Resource Development Policy that was launched this month by the Minister of Mines to facilitate the formulation of a consultative, competitive and sustainable mining tax regime, and also the amendment of the Mines and Minerals Development Act of 2015 is key for the harmonization of the policy and the legal framework. I think we are coming from a place where we had a policy that was developed in 2013 and we were using an act that was developed in 2015. So some of the comments on the ramifications of the bill includes the proposed regime for MRIT is placing the copper sector in Zambia within the best practice and within other, like similar to other mining copper, like mining jurisdictions such as Congo. We are all aware that Congo's MRIT was at 2% and currently being moved to 3%. We are saying, while the tax regime, especially the MRIT, is not the only factor that attracts investments in the sector, the Congo boasts of the high grades of ore than Zambia. I think now we are coming to a place where on the copper belt, the ore grades for most of the mines are low, such that it's affecting investments and production. So while Zambia did not do anything about the quality of our ore, but it has something that it has to do to ensure that we still attract investments. Right now, Zambia, we boast of the peace that we have, but what does that peace brought for us? If our mining tax regime, where in the last 10 years, 15 years, in the last decade, we've experienced a very unstable tax regime where within a tax regime, within a fiscal year, the tax regime has been changed twice. We have some concerns concerning the proposals of the bill. These include the proposed changes to the taxation regime does not differentiate between the large-scale miners and the small and artisanal scale miners, resulting in the large-scale miners getting a better treatment compared to the small-scale miners. We're coming from a place where the small-scale miners do it out of poverty. So the proposed regime is very complex for them. They do not really understand, and that will really eventually affect their formalization because they might be legal, but the formalization part has been an issue with the small-scale miners. Projections show that in 2021, the small-scale miners contributed to the 830 we're talking about, the small-scale miners contribute about 26,410 metric tons of copper. So they still play a critical role in the copper production of the country. And also, while the proposed regime is aiming at promoting growth in the copper subsector of the mining sector, which are also gaining dominance in Zambia. And right now we have the government saying they will be trying to get more gold purchases. Therefore, it's important that also the mining tax regime for this non-copper sector also considers. Therefore, the proposal we are saying is against Zambia's aspirations of diversifications within the mining sector. Therefore, we are saying for small-scale miners within the copper subsector, they will require a simple mining tax regime as opposed to the proposals of the MRIT. Like it might be just, you say, for small-scale miners, they can be paying 1% mineral royalty to ensure that it's something that is simple and it's something that they can easily do, because we're also trying to promote them, first to formalize them. They might be legal because they have got a mining license, but for them to formalize and be able to pay tax, it should be something that is simple. And we're also proposing for the small-scale miners, it's easy even just to use like payments through mobile money, like digital payments should also be key for these people, because most of them, the mining that they find themselves in is out of poverty. So then we need to promote them. Chair, I submit.
PMRC, you are our dependables when it comes to pulling out information, analyzing information, projecting the future with the information that you have. Government desires that we should grow our production of copper to 3 million metric tons in the next 10 years. Counting from 2021, this is 2 years now when we look at the 2023 national budget. And you do realize that we've lost in terms of production from what we currently were producing. You also do realize that in terms of revenue, we are going to even lose further in the next budget, 2.8 billion. You further do realize that in terms of employment, we're losing further. I think you are aware of the scenario in the copper belt, that every week in and out, people are losing employment. With the information at your disposal, what then is the guarantee that whatever it is that we are gifting these mines, because we're basically gifting them, we'll get to realize anything at the end of the day?
Under UNIBIC's nationalization, the MMD came in, was developed in the private sector driven mines, PF private sector driven mines, PND private sector driven mines. Now, compare and contrast. We have had a lot of issues on the MRT with these three regimes, or three governments, MMD, PF and UPF. Compare and contrast nationalization or continuous shifting from this type of minerality to another band.
Projections are showing that if you look at the projections between now and 2030, this year alone, we are going to have a decreased production to around 700 because of all these factors, issues of KCM, mining in court, we have Mobani, we have all those saga within the copper belt. So yes, towards the 3 million metric tons, there's a lot that we have to do. Key first is to ensure that the problems with the copper belt mines are looked at. They need to be resolved as quickly as possible, because we are seeing that there's going to be a reduced production. We're going to have nothing really from KCM. It will reduce from where it is today from 58 to go down. Even Mopani to be the same thing. And then we have job losses. All those things are being acknowledged, even as we've been having these meetings for the 3 million metric tons. All those things in our research, we really acknowledge them. But even within the study, we commissioned a study on the 3 million metric tons. As PMRC, not really to look at, is it attainable, but to look at what are some of the strategies for us to kickstart. Because what is important is to start. What really came out from the mining entities was the issue of MRIT, where they are saying MRIT for Zambia is high compared to other mining jurisdiction. Already, yeah, that is said. So I think coming forward, this is a question we've been asking even ourselves to say, well, you untwisted government to say, give us the non-deductibility, which came into 2022, we lost 3 billion. We came to this year, we're losing 2.8, so we've lost about 5.8 through these changes in mining tax. That question they also asked it openly at ZIMIC to see the mining houses, KCM is here, FQM is here. When you sit after government has given you this, what are we getting back? What are we seeing? What's your response? We expected by now to have a really good response to them. Maybe last year when we proposed the deductibility of the thing, we saw FQM coming with some money, but we asked what is it for them. So really, for us to say what are we expecting from the mines at this point in time, we also be looking for that answer as PMRC, because it's been given to them when we ask this question. What are we expecting from you as the mines now? Because you've gotten what you wanted. They proposed that they wanted a sliding scale for MRIT, and that thing has been given to them. So what is it? What is next for them? What are they going to do to ensure that they really give us, they really invest? Because what we need is reinvestment into these sectors. We do not want to hear the issues of care and maintenance. And they've said reinvestment is coming, but there's one part where they are saying government has been taxing incoming investments. And also one other key thing,
Government
has been taxing incoming investments. To say, like Lubambe, I think you heard that Lubambe has an exploration project where they need $10 billion to carry out that exploration. But they are scared to bring it in because they direct tax it at 10%. And another thing that we've been getting from the mining sector within what we're doing the 3 million metric ton study was the investors, while we are trying to ensure that the climate is being made conducive, they gave the reference point when the president went to Cape Town for the mining in Indaba was the issue of they also want to see stability. Because coming to a place where we are changing the mining tax regime twice within a fiscal year, they feel, what if it happens again? Because the changes in mining tax regime makes them lose money. So they also want to see stability. So, well, yes, to this, within 2022, we gave them something. This year, we gave them something. What guarantee do they have that going into 2024, those things will not be reversed? So maybe with these things being put in the bill, that will be something being put into law, will be something different, because they're also looking for stability. Are we offering them stability within the 10 years, coming from a place where 10 years ago there wasn't stability? So those are some of the things that we gathered on the ground the time we're doing the 3 million metric tons. Coming to nationalization and privatization, I think nationalization had its own benefits, even privatization had its own benefits. But coming to a place, I think as Zambia, what I've always been proposing, I think I didn't propose this early this year when we were looking at diversification of the mining sector, was the issues of why are we not as a country owning mines? Seriously owning mines, not what ZCMIH is owning. If we say of the 3 million metric tons that we are trying to get, of the 3 million, if you say Zambia is able to produce the 1 million on itself, Zambian owned. So would that be, even if the other mining houses are twisting us? I feel if the 1 million is owned by Zambians, it's something where we can get something. And we've made a number of proposals to say, if exploration projects are done, there's availability of funds for exploration projects, which are valuable. EU, while they say they have exploration money, it's only for uranium. I feel at Zambia, if we could come up with a proper strategic plan for explorations, because also we are going into a period where copper, they are saying copper is a new oil. We come up with a strategic plan that will be able to take to the funders. They give us money for exploration. When we are done with the explorations, those things are floated on the market. I feel honorable. Are you sure you cannot get shares as a Zambian to enable you to own shares? I think we need to get to a point where, as much as we are promoting privatization of the mineral resource, we also have to ensure that we also promote Zambians to own some of these shares within the mining sector. Basically, both are good, honorable, both privatization and nationalism, but we need to ensure that we promote the ownership by Zambians themselves.
Thank you so much. Although if I heard my honorable colleague correctly, he wanted to find out which one is better between MMG's policy, PO's policy, and UPM's policy. But
no, you don't. The issue is with the policies of the mine.
yes.
Do you know, as a country, at some point we moved away from promoting investment in the sector to wanting more money. Like, we just wanted to get money out of it. That's why you saw the reason where the different governments, there's this government just wants to get more money out of it. But if you look at the budget for the mining sector, where we need to put in money, because I think you put in money to get money, but we reached a point whereby there was less investment into the sector, but we wanted to get more. We are seeing a situation now where there's been an increase into the mining sector budget, because we reached a point whereby in the last 10 years, we were mining without exploration. So you have these few mines, which are, you only have the 800 metric tons, the 800,000 metric tons. With this same small thing, we just wanted to be getting out of it, as opposed to investing so that we grow the 800,000 to maybe 1.2, then we get more money. So like the different governments have different policies of what they wanted from the mining sector, but they were all good. Where we wanted money, we got it.
Thank you so much. I know that we are pressed with time, but maybe just a one-sentence question which may attract a one-sentence answer. Considering the level at which we are in terms of investment as well as production, what level of injection do you think will ensure or assure the production of 3 million tons per annum? And when do you see that happen?
By 2030, we will need to be increasing our annual production by 250,000. Each year we top up to ensure that we get to the 3 million by 2030. So what does that entail? That entails us having a new mine every year, like a Kalumbila. Kalumbila has that production capacity of 250,000. So we need like to add Kalumbila mine each year to that production. So what does that entail? Kalumbila mine has energy capacity of 100 megawatts. So meaning we need to have that amount of power to produce. And then on top of that, like building such a mine to have that production, we will need to ensure that it's about 5 billion US dollars for explorations, and for mineral development, like for mining development, a similar amount. And then coming to smelting, our smelter capacity right now is at 1.2 million. So in order for us to get to the 3 million, to smelt up to 3 million, because remember this 3 million metric tons, it's not copper concentrate, but it's copper. So meaning we need smelting. So at 1.2 million where we are for smelting capacity, we need 1.8 million extra. Constructing of the smelter at FQM in Solwezi costed them 900,000 US dollars to construct that one. So meaning we also need the 900 to construct a similar one, or 500. So we need 3 of those. So we need around 2.7 billion for smelting capacity itself. So those are the rough figures that we need to ensure that we get to the 3 million metric tons.